This hand's really good if we draw looting because of the helping hand. I think we keep this on the draw in the blind. Another thing with Affinity too is like, sure, when they have these draws, it's really unstoppable. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but Affinity is a deck that doesn't do that consistently, or at least as consistently as you would like need to for big tournaments to just stomp your opponents every round. And Affinity mulligans really poorly. Something I really have always been fearful of with the deck. On the draw, discard to hand size. Maybe we will. We still can. Do you think Anti-Causal Vestige could see play with Elder Deep Fiend? I think it could. Do you think our opponent's playing Prowess? Do we think they're playing Cascade Ritual? Do we think they're playing Creativity? Well, not going to discard anymore. This could be Zoo. Second Oculus is so nuts. Yeah, I think drawing second Oculus, and they're pausing like they could either have Stub if they're Zoo, or although maybe they're like Cascade Ritual and they're just wanting to like untap and Shardless Agent, in which case we'd want to consign. But I think I'm okay to just like untap and double helping hand. Doorkeeper Thrall? Okay, it is Zoo. I mean, I don't need to kill this right now. The very, very rare stream where we're up against Doorkeeper Thrall and it isn't like the best possible card in the world against me. I don't know if I've ever run into this card and been like, that doesn't do very much. Yeah, it's actually like actively bad because of Phlage. I'll probably put Anti-Causal Vestige Deep Fiend in my notes. Maybe you could go back to like the mono blue Eldrazi deck. Did not get the 4-1, sadly. I like the updated VV build. I think I would keep playing the frogs. So maybe they have a binding. Maybe they have binding and stub. Feels like that's what we're up against. I think I'm still just gonna consign. Okay. Always a chance that you're just wrong with your reads too. Or that you're maybe wrong with your reads isn't as accurate as our opponent's just really good at bluffing. Or they're impatient, which a lot of times just being impatient it's about as good as bluffing. Surveil Winternight to the yard. Also, I guess I've been forgetting to say this, but part of Winternight being so good is like Scour and Oculus, not just that it's like kind of better to cast than some of the other options. Fun. If they had each so Consign. Yeah, that's what I determined too, but I think there was some argument for not if they did have it. Oh, okay, so that's a good use for Doorkeeper Thrall. Discard it to Winternight. Alright, gonna go to game 2. Up a game against Domain Zoo. Force Negations, I think, are all coming out. Wear Tear is coming in, and then probably going to be 3 total consigns post board. Could play 1 Surgical for their Phlage, but we are a Prismatic Ending deck, so maybe we don't care that much about it. I think I'm in the not really care to bring in a Surgical camp here. Especially because they have Doorkeeper Thrall, but they might board that out. Okay, I'm going to go get some water real quick. Be right back. take a look at the anti-causal ritual deck. Could you play Elder Deep Fiend in this? Not exactly good with Birthing Ritual. It's kind of interesting with Riddler. Warps for 2 mana. Might be more of like a mono blue build. Well, let's keep this on the draw against Domain Zoo. They keep a nice 7-card leyline hand. So unless we draw a Consign or a Wear Tear, we're not going to be able to deal with a Sign of Draco. Maybe we should have 4 Consigns. I think if we lose this game, I'm kind of open to boarding the 4th Consign back in, or I guess we have 1 main 3-side in for the first time. Here's the Cheerio weapons deck idea. So this has been a deck that we've seen a few times. This idea of I play weapons manufacturing in Cheerios because retract weapons can kill. Okay, so this is kind of giving the vibe of they have Leyline Scion, but they just don't have the extra land. Let's try to find a land here. A little bit scary, but I think we are just gonna bank on them not ripping a land next turn. So the answer to this question is like, does weapons plus retract reliably win you games that you otherwise would have lost because your opponent interacted with you? That's really the only question you have to answer. And if the answer to that question is yes, then boom, you've got a deck that's pretty interesting. And if not, then you're kind of cooked. This is a lot of weird main deck stuff too. Maybe like the main deck chant is a bit interesting to me. Not playing the 3rd weapons is interesting. 16 land seems low, especially when only 13 of them cast or preordain. But interesting overall. Yeah, I agree. I think Deep Fiend, Mono Blue, Eldrazi, maybe with Riddler. Seems fun. Interesting. Well, we can heat the Kavu. They maybe just don't have a Scion, though. Let's hope that they do. My hand is too consigned to memory. There we go. No real reason to replicate. They did not unban Mental Misstep. Then let's wait and hold for the Scion again. Again, the main way we're going to lose this game is second Scion, which they could easily have since they missed so many land drops here. And if I draw a land, I think I'm more likely to go like Winternight with Consign up than I am to just flash back the Phlage or escape the Phlage. Especially because Consign could protect a Phlage. Okay, sure. Do we think that they would have not played a Scion if they had it that turn? I think if they had Dispute in their hand, there's actually a really high chance they would have just held the Scion. They do keep a card on top, so maybe they're going to go like Scion Stub or Scion Dispute. Ragavan Dash, Tom. I certainly hope we get some changes with the BNR sacrifice. I tend to not like to try to guess what Wizards will do instead of kind of have opinions on what I think they should do, but I do think I'd like to see some movement in Modern this November. Yeah, I did think about consigning the dash trigger. I might actually do that this turn. Do you think a card like Vivi is more likely to get buffed in the future or power crept out? For Vivi specifically, I think it's more likely to get better than worse because it's so unique. Especially because the main way you play Vivi is not by putting it into play, it's by like abusing its ability with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Yeah, I think I'm down to consign this. They could be sandbagging a Scion, but we do have a Wear Tear still in the deck that we're like, we're now 21 cards deep into the deck. Finding it seems kind of like an inevitability at this point. And I do think if we are still a little worried about them having Scion, like Phlage can kind of race it for a bit while we dig for the Wear Tear. I guess this is 1, 2. I should have left a land for Delirium. They have Binding and Scion, good beats. They can sign a trigger, not keep on candy field. I can sign the Ragavan treasure token trigger, not the dash return trigger, which I surely was the better thing to target, right? So they found their third land here on turn 9. I kind of feel like they're gonna dash and play Scion. Maybe I'm too scared. Doesn't Scion Stonewall Oculus Stonewall Scion? It does. Yeah, we can play towards that. It's a little bit scary though, where the Oculus like could flip. If it flips the Wear Tear, we just lose to the Scion eventually. They do have it. Which is kind of why I wanted to go more so for Phlage. I think I'm still going for Phlage for... although, no, let's go Oculus into Winternight Stories. We do take a hit, but we get to dig deeper for the Wear Tear. Okay, did not find one. Manifesting a Phlage could be nice too. I feel like we're going to flip the Wear Tear. My opponent was sandbagging the Scion, by the way. They drew their land and then they played it. They sandbagged it for like 7 turns. I guess 5 turns. They play the Steam that's untapped, so he has like Kavu plus Ragavan. Interesting, no Ragavan dash. Phlage? Uh-oh. All right, let's go to game 3. I think I'm gonna maybe trim the rack. Seems kind of high on the old mana curve here. Play the 4th Consign. And just be kind of... We could like loot them away more aggressively if they don't have a ley line. Yeah, we could have reclaimed the Phlage and survived another turn with like really no outs to win the match. Or win the game, I think. Maybe the Wear Tear still saves us. I think I'm happy enough to move on. If I was at a PT, I would have reclaimed the Phlage. Not worth to play a 4th color for ending? I don't think so. Usually the 3rd color is worth it and the 4th isn't. The list of like 4 mana value things you could pending is pretty small. It's like Leyline, Karn, Writhing Chrysalis. Probably a few other, relevant ones, but just kind of a small overall. Not a matchup you want to mulligan very much. This hand is very likely to hit your second land with this Parlor and the Looting. I like to have the removal. I like to have stuff to loot away for value. I'm gonna keep. Yeah, I still's a really good one for pending. They have the leyline again. Another 7-card leyline hand. So I think I am going to go for looting this turn. See if we find a helping hand. I think I'll discard the Oculus despite it being pretty castable on the 4th land for the Phlage. And, you know, if they just have 7-card, Ragavan, Leyline, Scion, those hands are pretty tough to beat. Pretty tough to beat without a Consign. And our hand doesn't have a Consign. Might find the wear term. Maybe they don't have the second land like they didn't have it last game. There's a second land. And there's a territorial Kavu. Now, if we find Wear Tear, we can kill the leyline, and it also kills the Kavu because they tapped like this. Kavu can exile my Phlage, but I have found a Prismatic Ending, thankfully. Not as good as a Wear Tear, but we'll take it. Gonna get basic planes. Your turn. Interesting pause on the instep. I wonder if they had Leyline, if they had Kavu and Scion, if they would have prioritized playing the Kavu to exile the Phlage. Here they're sacking the Arid Mesa first thing, which is a little bit weird because they didn't sack the fetch lands last turn when they played the Kavu, and they exposed it to the Kavu to like a wear tear. And they fetch a mounted main phase and they pass. Perhaps some interesting psychological warfare here. I think I'm going to escape the Phlage. Or try to. Have I considered Spell Queller, Vexing Bauble Saga? Love the streams. I guess I haven't thought about that synergy. It's not that bad. Main deck Vexing Bauble is pretty good. Pretty fun synergy. Never heard of it before. Cool idea. So they surveil in response to me cracking the Scalding Tarn. What do you think is going on, guys? I don't know. I'm confused. It kind of feels like they're trying to psych me out. And no, Teferi in this deck is so good in the meta. It's just we have too many 3s. I do agree that Teferi is good, although what's with this? What's with this? Why are we doing this? Okay, they have the Surgical. We're still gaming. We can't beat second Surgical though, as on the Oculus. Oh no, we can't because we have Obosh. Might be an Obosh game. I guess I can get the basic eyelid now that we don't care about red, white anymore. They surveil their own Phlage into the yard. How can this turn get any worse? He asked, rhetorically. Well, it feels a little bit bad to tap out of the snares, I guess. Let's cast this, though. I think the fetching the basic was to play around you having Harbinger. Well, my opponent could just respond to the Harbinger. But I guess. So we'll see if they have the 4th land for the Phlage escape. We are kind of low on answers to it because we've got 2 endings in the yard. They flip a Helping Hand off the Ragavan, which they can use to Helix me if they want. Helping Hand would have been the best possible top deck for me, so it makes sense. Ragavan would steal it from me, the nimble pilferer that it is. I see Snare has probably come back to standard. It was in the deck list for the new reconstructed standard decks. I did not see that. Probably would help the VV Cauldron stuff, right? So I'm down to 10. Despair, I guess. Could be our move here. I'm going to confirm that Helping Hand and Reclamation does not keep Phlage in the battlefield. Not without a consign, no. Surveilling Phlage into the yard is 2025 companion, maybe. I won't elaborate further. Interesting choice to dash the Ragavan. My plan is to surveil a Reclamation into the yard and get back to Oculi. They flip an Oculus off the Ragavan, which they could crack the fetch and then play to good success here. So they play a Nile Spellbomb, continuing to just have great card against me into great card against me. Actually, and now I even only have one Oculus left in the deck, and my Savine's Reclamation top decks are not very live. So I don't know. I'm feeling like we're gonna lose this one. Save me, Obosh. Oh, I did board out the wreck. That's right. Well, I guess that wasn't a good plan then. I'll concede to the Phlage. I think. Well, I guess we don't have to. Like, their Ragavan's still a problem. I have one Oculus left in my deck. We're looking for, I guess, Unholy Heat. Maybe we could concede. Unholy Heat gets spellbombed. A double damage on Unholy Heat doesn't deal with the Phlage. Let's just see if they brain fart. Okay. I yield. Domains are looking pretty good, I think. I think we'll lead on Surveil, probably. Well, I guess we're the draw. We might pending turn 1. Ah! The fool! They exposed the amulet! Must be their first time. The card sucks. It might, like, Prismatic Ending. Then you spend 1 mana, they spend 1 mana. But you can also just play around it really easy if you want to. Alright, Gruul Turf, pick up Forest. Play Mirror Pool. I don't think I'm going to be able to... I think I want to hold up the Snare for Explorer / maybe Analyst. Really doubt they would play the Analyst this turn. I think because if it's just in their hand, they might play it. Haven't seen a lot of Dryads lately. Let's not get ready to rumble. We got 1 card in their hand and only 5 mana. It's a good spot for us to be in. So we could Winternight Stories with the hope of escaping Phlage next turn. I think that's going to be fine. Instead of wrecking the Oculus. Soma's still in Rumble, exactly. Yeah, didn't the Rumble list at the PT have a better win rate than the builds that weren't playing Rumble? I think that was my recollection. Cannister's very low in Rumble, so it must not be correct. I kind of can't tell which side that's supposed to be on. Like what's not supposed to be correct. All right, on to game 2. I bring in 3 Ashioks. I like the surgicals against them too. Prismatic Ending is not so good against them game 2 where they just don't cast the amulet into it. Sometimes. It's kind of completely up to them, I guess. I want to keep in the heats. Let's cut the graveyard stuff. The number of consigns is really weird too. I think you want between like 1 and 3 usually. I think I'm interested. I might cut all the Phlages. Phlagi, perhaps. Sorry about that. Not Phlagi. No consigns for TBS anymore, Saga. We're gonna play some. The thing is they're okay against Saga and they're good against Saga Chapter 3 sometimes, but it's like hard to snag an amulet off them. But also consigning a Titan ETB, like you have to have Unholy Heat also with Delirium, otherwise you're still going to lose to the Titan. So I think 2 is probably a fine number. Maybe I think you could make a good argument to playing more consigns on the play because it's a lot easier to get the amulet on the play. Well, I've got my sideboard card. Let's hope it's good enough. But it's on a mold of 6. I was bringing Surgical versus Titan. I never know what I'm supposed to be hitting with it. One of the best things that you could do is... I got Vexing Bauble? Okay, that only hits my Force of Vigors. One of the best things you could do is Surgical the Aftermath Analyst when they go to copy it with Shifting Woodland. And stop that little loop-de-doop. Discarding the second Ashiok could be interesting. It's like kind of nice for Delirium. Don't Scours get worse if you cut hands? And we still have an Oculus deck. It's like a 1-mana cantrip, you know. I guess I kind of don't want a Prismatic Ending the Bauble since it's not doing that much. I guess maybe I should have waited on the Surveil. Just changed my mind. Oh, it also stops the Surgicals. That's true. I think I'm going to hit them here. I might mill myself next turn. So we hit their T-West. That's actually pretty big. They usually only play 1. Ice Till. No cards in the yard. So let's see if we get Delirium for the Heat. By milling ourselves this time. We did. Crispy. Ice Till Explorer. I can also Prismatic Ending the Vexing Bauble this turn. Yeah, I think that's fine. I like being able to do this so I can have the Surgical up. And then we get to leave up Consign. I don't think we need to Surgical the Ice Till. It's usually just a 1 of. And now next turn we can go Oculus plus Winternight if we want. And to do that we need the land, so I think we'll keep the land. Or, sorry, we don't need to, but if we want to also keep up the Consign, we'll keep the land. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. We still have Delirium if we get rid of another land and we have a fetch land, so that should be fine. What do you think of the weapons manufacturing's build of Affinity? So those Tamami still have a place in these builds. Those builds are good. We've played a good bit of them too. I definitely play Claws of Gix with weapons. But I think they're good. I think they're definitely good. I think it's probably the most optimal way to build Affinity. I don't think Tamiyo is very good. I don't think Tamiyo or Imri is really a card I'd be looking to play in Affinity. So they rumble, they hit another Vexing Bauble, they hit an Urza Saga, they hit a Forest, a Reclaimer, and then they concede. Alright, let's keep this on the draw. New game 1. Halfling uncounterability kind of looking scary. We might get to snare a Birthing Ritual or Rumble though, so let's not tap out for Tamiyo thinking we are just going to get got by a Grist or an Amulet here. Is this Amulet Titan? Interesting. Imri's better than Thought Monitor. That's interesting. Imri bringing back explosive seems nice. I mean, Imri is good if you cast it for 1 mana and untap with it for sure. I've not played the Bant Woodland deck yet. I'm hoping we have time for it today still. This could be Omnath? Fun Reveler? So, I mean, I would think that this is Bring to Light. But, like, Halfling is a bit weird in Bring to Light. Maybe it's okay to play Halfling with Bring to Light. Every turn, a wonderful shock to the system. Fun. So I'm 1 card short from casting an Oculus this next turn. I think I'm just going to heat the Teferi, play Tamiyo, hold up Snare and Force. Been playing Jeskai control with Trainers, Tamiyos, Riddler, Phlage are working out. Yeah, sounds pretty reasonable, pretty kind of normal. A lot of ways to build Jeskai at the moment. Jeskai Ascendancy? I don't think you'd ever play Ragavan with Ascendancy. Halfling's also not very good with Ascendancy too because you can't use the mana for much. But, I mean, anything could be happening right now. Okay, so the hand is Ragavan, 2 mystery cards. They legend rule a Besage. Which is really nice because they're running low on lands here. They play the Ragavan. Could have been countered. I guess not by much, though. Why did they play the Besage? Another resounding, I don't know. Well, let's cast a Phlage. I think I'm going to target a Delighted Halfling instead of targeting the Ragavan, since I don't think it's very likely my Tamiyo dies here. And I'm very interested in killing the Dryad. This is actually our 2nd opponent in a row playing Dryad of the Elysian Groves. We really wanted to build a 4 Inspector, 4 Flare, 42 deck. Isn't that just the Collector's Cage? Okay, so here's Omnath. Two cards in their hand. They may have thought Besage would trigger Valakut before Legend Ruling. Well, they didn't even have enough lands in play, if that's what they thought. I think no thanks to Prismatic Ending. Let's kill the Dryad. Stick to the plan. Leave Tamiyo back to block the Ragavan. Interesting. So 1 card left. They hit a Misty Rainforest so they can get all 3 landfall Omnath triggers here. Doesn't really seem like their deck can Valakut without Dryad in play. Maybe that's not true. Jeskai Triumph. Somehow opponent still finds a way to surprise me. They mill a Solitude with the Ice Tilt trigger. Rest in peace, Yorion. Obosh is here to avenge you. So they can't use the mana. They get in with the team. We take 5. So my arena is exerted. I draw Winternight Stories, which could flip Tamiyo and discard another Phlage, maybe. Do I want to flip the Tamiyo? I kind of just want to cast 2nd Phlage and kill the Ice Tail. Sure. Very, very weird game we're playing here. I always like a weird game. Two cards in their hand. Oh. Sure, I think we need to save the Force of Negation for Scape Shift. Even though they might not actually have enough mountains in their deck. They flip a Phlage, not doing a lot here. Putting a card in my yard. Siege Rhinoing me. Let me know if you would have forced that. Okay, well, I got to answer before you knew we were drawing the second force. So I can discard two cards and I can haste the Oculus, which is exactly lethal. I'm gonna I guess this exile both Phlages. Okay, up a game against what I presume is Bring to Light Scape Shift. They probably have Green Sun in their deck too. I think the Ashioks are probably pretty good. I might bring in all three. Fire Magic, level 1 kills Ragavan, which is okay. Then level 2 can clean up some halflings. Might be worth playing one copy, although we have a lot of Prismatic Endings and Heats, which maybe mean we just don't want those. We saw no 2-drops that game, although they probably have Renin 6 at least. We'll play like 2 snares. Where Tokyo's Dryad? I don't think they're playing Binding. Yeah, I'll just play 2 Ashioks, I think. That's probably a good number. Alright, I'll give this one a go. Might get to Surveil or Scour. An eyeball into the yard for a turn 2 helping hand. Might just get Ragavan here. Main phase, fetch up a Katria Triumph. A little bit of value anyways. Were Surveil lands a mistake? Maybe. Main phase fetch another Triumph. Opponent really knows how to keep me on my toes. They're like fetch, just making sure they don't get Ashioked. So we can try to use Ashiok to get Delirium to heat the Teferi. That's War of the Spark all over again over here. I think we will minus on our turn so that we exile the Heaths for Ice to Explorer, and so that we can get Delirium even if they have Prismatic Ending, or try to get Delirium if they have Prismatic Ending. And we do find that we also mill a Phlage. Pretty good value. They dash Ragavan. It'll be interesting if they go after me or if they go after my Planeswalker. They do go after me. They hit a Phlage. So they could put the Ashiok to 1 if they wanted to cast that here. Instead, they do have a Prismatic Ending. They minus the Teferi. Hard not to just escape the Phlage. Although I do have other options. I could go Helping Hand Tamiyo, Winternight flip the Tamiyo. I could go Helping Hand the Phlage, kill the Teferi, hold up Heat and Snare. I think I'll just escape the Phlage though. Kind of reminds me a little bit of when Uro was legal, and you would sometimes have like a lot of interesting things you could do, but if you just had 4 mana and could escape the Phlage, that was the right play. We have Delirium again when we crack the fetch. Feeling good, Bajan. How you doing? Ghost Quarter, huh? They flipped to Faithless Looting and they didn't even think about casting it. Which I guess I should be a little concerned about. I guess we'll grab a Shockland because they have the Ghost Quarter in play. And it seems like my island is already accounted for. I do still have the planes in the deck, though. Thanks again, 50 for the 16 months. Maybe I actually want to Helping Hand Tamiyo this turn. No, it just taps, so it doesn't block the Ragavan. Could dash the Ragavan again. They do. Was a Prismatic Ending, not very helpful for them. 5 cards in their hand. Plays a Valakut. They've got 3 mountains in play at the moment. Does feel like finding like a Force of Negation for a Bring to Light's really important at this turn. I think I'm going to play to that by going Helping Hand Tamiyo, cast Winternight Stories. Nice. Although I think I want to go play new creature Tamiyo to block Ragavan and hold up the snare. So let's... Oh, wait. My Island Fountain and Steam Vents are all accounted for, so I can't do that. Although these snares are not seeming super duper live. So let me just discard 2 fetches. Tap out of the snare for a turn. What am I playing against? I think this is Bring to Light Scapeshift. Not a deck I've seen in a long time, but one that you'll see every once in a while, I guess. And it's Ragavan, 5 mystery cards over there. Not really so scary against our deck, but maybe... Wait, they played the Beseiju? It's like the 3rd time they've Legend rolled Beseiju this game. With Dryad? You have a sick-ass Blue Moon deck? Well, I guess my opponent's just lagging. Hard to get excited about Quantum Riddler when you're just not playing any... Oh, they have an Endurance. That's really good. They can target themselves and they can target me. They do that. Cool. Well, there goes my graveyard action and also all the card arts. It's hard to get excited about playing a Quantum Riddler deck with like no synergy with Quantum Riddler, sadly. Oh, sorry, I forgot my stupid Obosh. Maybe I'll get to hardcast 2 Force of Negations. So my Tamiyo actually survives this attack if they send everything at it. Goes to 1. The idea is just good 1-for-1. Is it interaction then Riddler refill? I mean, I understand the concept, but it's like you could have good 1-for-1 interaction, and then you could also ephemerate your Quantum Riddler. You know, so like, what is the idea of going this direction instead? So they can send just Alishnorn at this Tamiyo, and then this one at me if they want, maybe. But then I could block. Wait, Ragavan's also coming at Tamiyo? Well, everything at Tamiyo is kind of funny. Thank you, Pop Tart. I'm excited for the vacation. Thank you for your subscription. Back November 13th. Last normal stream Friday. Probably might be live Monday. Save me, Obosh, please. That's their 4th mountain. They might have a 5th that they could get off Ghost Quarter. They don't have Endurance mana up. I know the art card arts are glitching here. So I don't have an island, but I have my other 2 basics in the deck, so I discard Strand, Snare. Maybe Strand Reclamation. I might just want 2 blue cards for 2 forces. Yeah, probably. Save me, Obosh, please. Kind of just does have the board locked down here. Uh-oh. Uncounterable Teferi. Come on. Delighted Halfling. Why you gotta do this to me? Am I dead? No, not dead. In fact, Tamiyo's soaking up 7 damage here, kind of. What do they flip? They flip a Helping Hands. No creatures in their graveyard. Ragavan back in the hand. So I have 8 mana. I could go Flashback Looting and then just play Obosh if I don't find anything better. I could sack a Clue token instead of flashing back Looting, maybe. That would let me maybe try to find Unholy Heat to kill Teferi and hold up Force on their turn for Escape Shift. I do have 2 Unholy Heats left in the deck. I guess that's fine. We can also draw like a Tamiyo or Helping Hand for a Tamiyo. Prismatic Ending on the Halfling, maybe. Just, use the mana. Okay, I cast Obosh. They do dash a Ragavan. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have a Valakut trigger. If I block like this, I'm taking 5, 6, 7 die. So I could block here, and I could take 4, 5, 6 die. So I guess if I'm dead anyways, let's just see if Misty Rainforest has a fetchable mountain. Second Stomping Ground. Dead. All right, game 3 on the play. Let's cut the snares. It's been 2 games now. We haven't even seen a Wrenn and 6. They probably have Wrenn and 6s in the deck, but I don't know. Some gamers are just like, Wrenn and 6? What are you got talking about? Why would I play that one? Wrenn and 6 in 2025? I don't think so. A lot of people thought it was like an inevitable thing for Wrenn and 6 to end up being banned. All right, be right back. On the play. Obosh, save me. Wait, I'm down 4 minutes on the clock? What have I become? I guess I should have kept the Heat actually over the Prismatic Ending. Yeah, they both kill Halfling, and I just need to get Steam Bints here. Yeah. We'll see if we find a white source again. Definitely misstep here. Punished. I think I'll go ahead and cast the other Looting here. I might end up Savine's Wrecking next turn. We do find the white source. Oh, is that my looting? Okay, that was my looting. All 4 in the graveyard on turn 2. What allows their main phase fetching? They have Ice Till? Ice Till would be pretty bad. We need to find an Unholy Heat, although we actually don't even have Delirium. I guess we could go Heat minus Tamiyo Heat. Ragavan? Milder Ragavan. Alright, it has another. Sack this. Interesting draw. Start off with a Scour. We find Delirium and we find Unholy Heat, so I guess we are officially bailed out. Might as well Prismatic Ending the Ragavan instead of Heat it though. I think exiling has got to be marginally better. We also milled the Phlage. I don't know if I said that, but milled Phlage. We also have maybe Savine's Wreck. Our graveyard is very stocked, kind of weak to endurance. Another copy of Ice Till. So one thing we could do next turn, assuming they don't do anything else, is flashback Savine's Reclamation to get back a fetch land and get back an Oculus, and then pick up Unholy Heat again with Tamiyo, kill the Ice Till. Why not uptick and threaten ult? Because I could very easily die if my opponent untaps with Ice Till Explorer. Also, my opponent, if I just uptick and do nothing, they can attack my Tamiyo. Right? I mean, you killed Ice Till, and they have Rag attacking for 1. I see. Maybe that was better. Maybe that was better. I guess I don't know why that confused me. So I can take this line and go Savine's Reclamation plus Heat. Maybe I can also escape the Phlage, kill Halfling, deal them 3, but then they don't have to block. Me getting 6 means I'm still dead to Scape Shift, right? They have the Valak in the yard, so I do think killing the Ice Till is going to be pretty important. So yeah, I think let's go for the Savine's Wreck, and then we have got lethal next turn. Weird game. So all 3 games pretty weird. Manifest. Let's see if we die here somehow. So they're currently dead on board. They've got 3 cards in their hand. There's Rin 6. At what point was the Oculus Kiora? I mean, in like a much older version of the deck, but I kind of set out to build this version with the idea that like this package of looting, Arena of Glory, Helping Hand, Oculus, Phlage, Thought Scour was pretty underexplored. But we have played Kiora in these kind of shells, yeah. They have Ghost Quarter. I don't have the Plains still in the deck. Wait, where is the Plains? Oh, here it is. Well, maybe we'll just top deck the second arena. So if I had the Plains to search, then oh yeah, there's the Plains. I forgot that we just put it in the yard. But if we had the Plains, I'd probably play Ashiok and Oculus this turn. Instead, I'm going to escape the Phlage. Probably don't tap an island for that. Exile 3 of the 4 lands in the yard, and then I have 2 instants. Although if I pick up a scour, or if I exile a scour, pick up a heat, then I don't have delirium. That's probably not that important. And I'm gonna ignore the planeswalkers, attack them. My hand's, you know, all sorcery stuff. They're gonna keep the ghost quartering going, although I guess whatever the rest of their plan is, they've figured it out. They have like a Bring to Light for Verdict or something. Maybe they're not playing Bring to Light also. It's been a lot of gaming so far without seeing that card. Alright, I think at this point we'll get the Teferi off the field because the minus is being threatened. I cast a Born Oculus. And then I guess we're also going to flash back the Winternight Stories. So at this point we probably more or less abandon Delirium in favor of keeping flashback spells. Have we seen a swamp? I think they had a Triumph. That was a swamp, yeah. So I can't quite Helping Hand this turn. I guess I'll still just discard the Phlage. Might Helping Hand the Phlage next turn. Might Helping Hand the Phlage next turn. I don't know, maybe I could have kept that in hand. Feeling pretty good with the Force of Negation in my hand. It's interesting that they are ghost courting before doing anything else. I'm trying to figure out what this says about the contents of their hand. I guess nothing. Okay, 2-1, 2-1. I think that's looking pretty good. But if we can like really confirm that our prowess matchup is just very solid, I think that'll go a long way for me wanting to continue to explore the deck. So against an untapped Mire, I think I'd like to just surveil on turn 1, so we could maybe play Tamiyo and flip it without exposing it to a bolt if they tap out for something. Do you think Consign Jeskai should be on Obosh as well? You need to cut Felia. Cutting Felia is a pretty tall order. They also play Wrath the Skies. They're playing Arena of Glory, right? Obosh is better with Arena. I'm not sure. Obosh is like clearly better in this build, I think, than it is in the Blink build. I would probably recommend keeping Felia. It's an interesting angle, though. Opponent in the tank on the Surveil. They keep a card on top. Maybe Jeskai Prowess, maybe something else. Looks like it. Here's the Bauble. Maybe I'm a bit too obviously F6'd. Although sometimes you can use that to your advantage by on F6ing on later turns. I think Tamiyo's or Force of Negation's okay here. Would have certainly preferred a Heat or a Ending. Well, there's our Ending. I think I'd like to discard just the Phlage and the Savine's Rack, because I need the Winternight to pitch to the Force. Island definitely a little awkward with the Phlage. I think it's okay. Hope it's okay. Interesting that the Bauble hasn't been cracked yet. I just kind of usually autopilot upkeep and prowess. The Bauble was not cracked at all. I don't know. Weird. Are they somehow a Slickshot show off affinity prowess hybrid? Probably not. Let's force that. They need to cast another spell to kill Tamiyo. They Bauble themselves for the Scry. Maybe they're kind of flooded and they wanted to save it for this. Which I guess I wouldn't usually recommend, but isn't the worst thing ever. They're thinking about something. Show off comes in at Tamiyo. Tamiyo lives. Hooray. So the Bauble trigger resolves. Did they just draw a lightning bolt? Dingo was explaining Pokemon game mechanics to me yesterday and said that a big part of competitive Pokemon play is the first time you can search your library, you look for 6 cards that began the game exiled from your deck, so you can figure out what's left in your deck. Oh, there's Dingo, and sounds pretty miserable. Are you saying anything? I couldn't hear you if you were.
No, I'm just lurking. You gotta spend like 2 or 3 minutes prize checking. And if you make one misplay, there goes a third of your life. Imagine playing against Burn, chat, and you lose 7 life for looking at one too many cards.
Yeah, that seems incredibly way too punishing. So I'm gonna save the looting because I don't have anything I want to discard. The Tamiyo continues to be a big headache for our opponent. Yeah, this is something I've been.
I had a good time in the Secret Lair Camo Forest yesterday.
Why don't you deck tech the deck, Dingo? Here is it's a Jeskai, Obosh, Looting, Oculus, Helping Hand, Scour deck.
I got you. Chat, YouTube, it's deck tech time. This time for a little bit of Obosh Thought Scour Phlage deck. We got 4 copies of, and it's gone. Alright. We got 4 copies of Thought Scour to help us bin our Phlage and our Oculus, which we get Helping Hand back. If we Helping Hand back the Phlage, it's a little bit of 1 mana Lightning Helix. We can Helping Hand back the Oculus as well and get a ton of value out of it as long as we have the requisite energy. 3 copies of Tamiyo. It's a little bit of a 1-drop value creature. Synergizes pretty nicely with the Faithless Looting, of course. 3 copies of Force of Negation as a free counter spell. 4 copies of Prismatic Ending as early removal. Same with the Unholy Heat. Unholy Heat particularly good right now because it kills Riddler, which a lot of other removal spells don't. Got a couple of 1-mana counter spells over here. Consign a Memory, Spell Snare among them. Then we got our 4 copies of Phlage, of course, and our 2 Arena of Glories in the mana base to go with the Phlage. And for the rest of the mana base, it looks like we've got a couple Surveils, couple Fetches, some Shocks. We also got some Winternight Stories that we can, tap our Oculus, make it 1 mana, loot, do a little Phlage discarding. We can flip our Tamiyo with it as well. Pretty powerful. Then we got our 1 copy of Savine's Reclamation, which has flashback. We can return the Oculus. We can return a Phlage, 3-4 mana Lightning Helix. Mana base wise, got a couple of Surveils, got a Elegant Parlor, we got a Meticulous Archive, and a Thundering Falls. And then the rest of it's just like fetches, shocks, basics, nothing too crazy. Let's look at the sideboard. It is a no-bosh deck, so we can only play 1s, 3s, and 5s. So we got 3 copies of Meltdown for the Affinity matchup, a couple copies of Fire Magic to eliminate the board of energy mostly. We got 3 copies of Ashiok for Titan, because fuck Titan. 1 copy of Wear Tear, pop Urza Saga, or other artifacts. 2 Surgical Extractions for the Goryo's matchup. 3 Consigns for the Eldrazi matchup, and our trusty Obosh. Let's try it.
Yeah, it's our second league with the deck. It's been pretty solid, I think. I built the deck and then I realized, wait, we just get to play Obosh naturally. They have double bolt for Phlage.
Oh, I did get Helping Hand confused the Jolted Away. Redo the deck tech.
Yeah, we're gonna redo everything.
Yeah, redo the deck tech.
You do that every time, right? You kind of go through every single card when you deck tech.
Yep.
I like to just meat and potatoes it. Just only talk about the important stuff usually. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I live there now. I live with Spike.
Yeah.
How's everything running, by the way?
Recession indicator. It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
I don't know. The card arts are gone still sometimes. I think it's a Magic Online thing. Like other opponents have been having lag issues too. Like it starts to lag and then the card arts go away.
Huh.
I haven't seen double bolt being so good against Phlage here is really funny.
I played 1 match on my account last night, and anytime I had like a card loading issue, it was only for like 5 seconds.
Huh.
And then it went away.
I'm bad luck maybe. Okay, we can go Savine's Wreck, the Phlage, and the Arid Mesa, then also Unholy Heat.
The room with us right now?
Yeah, times are tough.
I'm in your walls.
Dingo has moved in as the ultimate recession indicator. I don't think so. I feel like I was dead to mutagenic growth plus dart, I think. At the very least, like I think if they had mutagenic, they probably would have fired it in the dart off last turn, but maybe not. If they do have it, like at least make them use it on their turn here. It would be kind of crazy that they have it. was I not dead to that? I lost 3 life and I gained 3 life this turn, right? They top deck Steel Cutter. Am I dead to this? I guess not, and then I guess I can go looting haste the Phlage next turn. Yeah. But was I not dead to the mutagenic growth last turn? Maybe I wasn't. Keep the snare. Oh, yeah, I guess they're just actually dead. So there's that.
That's like, how much damage does Hasty Phlage do? Yeah, that check. I don't sleep on the couch, chat. I sleep with Athena at night and then Lucy in the morning.
Yeah, the dogs have abandoned us completely.
Athena hangs out from like 11 o'clock to like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. And then Lucy does a little swap with her, so I'm never alone. And then Lucy hangs out until I go to bed.
How would you sideboard against prowess? Last time I just lazily brought in a fire magic over Consign.
I think I like both fire magics over.
I feel like it's so. I like that. I do like that it kills Channeler turn 1 most of the time.
It kills Channeler and then like 3 mana cut.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It was pretty crazy that game.
Yeah, they know I'm a Gene sleeper, chat, so they're naturally attracted.
I've been friends with Dingo for a few years now. I still have yet to see him geneless.
You're playing Hearthstone and you got 1 mana per turn.
I'm gonna keep. I think I will keep this on the draw. I like having Force for Steel Cutters. I like having Snare. I just don't think you can go to 5. You've got 2 good interactive spells on the draw against prowess.
I didn't know people still wore jeans. Are jeans out of fashion?
I haven't worn jeans in probably 4 years.
My sleeping jeans right now, chat.
Can Frog and Phlage be in the same deck? You can play Domain Zoo with Frog and Phlage. Do you think Riddler is good in Zoo? I feel like it's so. I mean, Riddler is just a good card in general, but I don't think anybody can agree really what the flex spot card draw spell should be. I saw someone playing Winternight Stories today. You gotta believe in something. Yeah, I'm gonna out you. You told me today or yesterday that you just say every card sucks. This way you can never get called out for your bad card evaluations if everything sucks. Nothing is good. But you gotta believe in something. You gotta take a stand. All right, we got two. Well, they don't have a land either.
Riddler is
I should have got blue white surveil. Sorry.
Riddler is B tier like an Amp Raptor.
Yeah.
Would you be happy if Riddler was a Bauble? Remember that? Would you be happy if Amp Raptor hit a Bauble? That was the age-old discussion.
I think I've repressed that part of the conversation. I guess I'm going to discard a Oculus, although I only have 1 helping hand in the deck. All right, they found their second land. Let's hopefully, but their threat is going to be snareable. They might plot the show off here, though. I hope with the 50 months, have a good wedding. I hope she says I do. I hope so, too. Esther is a little bit of a gremlin sometimes, and you never know what she's going to say.
Well, if she doesn't, I will.
Yeah, Dingo can tag in.
Yeah, you're getting married to somebody. Come here, Lucy. Come here, sleeping buddy. Come here.
Okay. The legally binding I do. Congratulations to us. Why is Ketchermost Relic not played much? Because they printed Quantum Riddler. And it is just the better card advantage engine for the most part. Ketchermost Relic is also, I think, kind of bad in the Prowess metagame where it's painful early. It's not online super early, and you get raised pretty hard. Should have called his wife a gremlin. Esther is a proud gremlin. Okay, after tapping, untapping, thinking for 2 minutes, they have plotted Slickshot show off. I'm going to draw a land off the Scour. I really don't want to go to discard again. This is maybe too greedy. I may be getting too antsy, but I could feel it coming, and we did draw one.
That's not what I asked you to do.
Yeah, we've talked about RC Houston. I didn't think it was too, like, there's like a lot to talk about. Like, I think the most interesting thing from RC Houston is, like, for the first time since I've been playing competitive Modern, I think Titan was the most played deck. I have never seen that at an event this big. I don't think it's ever happened, and I think it's a really weird data point to me. That it's something that is still kind of freaking me out that we've hit that point. Like, there was something else that I thought was kind of surprising about RC Houston. Yeah, maybe Jeskai winning, although like I intellectually know that like that Jeskai build's good, and it just looks a little funky, but.
Did you tell me yesterday that it looks bad?
Yeah, it does look bad. Like I said this on stream yesterday too. Like it looks bad, but I know that it's good. I know intellectually that it's doing well. I understand, but I look at it and it's abhorrent to me.
I don't really understand the 24 lands with no MDFCs.
Yeah, the Fables are also like, I feel like they can't be correct. So we've got a plotted Slickshot show off, so we want to force instead of snare.
And the Jeskai deck plays better than it looks. Like, Ginger won the challenge, I 5-0'd, it won the RC. The deck doesn't feel impressive, but it just wins games.
Wait, Ginger's off of Boros? Okay, that's pretty
nice.
He's
been playing blue-white.
Okay, well, maybe Modern's healed.
Kinda crushed it with that blue-white energy Riddler deck. That was
If you say so. I feel like the Sief's takes on it were like, I think more important than anything I did.
I mean, he refined it, but like you
need a no glazing clause in your roommate agreement.
Somebody's gotta hype you up. I could be Twitch.
They're out of threats. I mean, they must have some counter magic. What was Titan's win rate? I think for non-mirror matches it was 54%. I thought it was 52 with mirror matches.
Maybe.
There's also someone sent like a really interesting chart. I had never seen like data interpreted this way, but it was a line graph, or not a line graph. I guess it was a line graph. It showed like at what percentage players at a certain record. How would you even describe this? It was like it showed the total match points for decks across day one, and Titan's bar was just like way higher than the others. I don't even maybe someone knows what I'm talking about. It was a very weird graph.
I didn't see the one you're talking about. I saw just like the normal boxes.
Was it a scatter plot? Yeah, I don't know if anyone has it. They had 4 mutagenic growths. Well, I mean, that was tough to play around. I mean, we might go to 3, or go to 1 maybe.
They have the double strike.
I mean, they've got to have something. Yeah, they've been. This is turn 7.
Sitting on 4 mutagenic.
Distribution of decks across match points. Yeah, something like that. But like, I didn't exactly know how to reconcile. Like the 54% non-match win rate that is a very good result at a high level tournament, but the scatter plot made it look like it was more. It was a very weird graph. Okay, game 3 on the play. Maybe I'll keep a hand with more than one lands this time. Although I think on the draw, the surveil, and all the interaction is probably good. My guess is Fable plus Riddler is too much fun. Yeah, maybe. But people also played very poorly against Titan. At least on-stream people timed out removal kind of bad. We've come full circle with the the Amulet Titan discourse. The win rate of Titan is lower or higher because people play poorly against it. Actually, this was like the same. I would say this kind of stuff about Miracles and Legacy, that like I was winning so much because people would play bad against me, and like the deck shouldn't get banned. I remember saying like basically the same thing when I was trying to cope about Miracles being a balanced deck in Legacy after I had just spent like years buying the deck.
What do you think is more likely? The win rate goes down because people play it poorly, or the win rate goes up because people play against it poorly?
I
feel like that's really close.
I think it kind of evens out most likely. I know during like I don't know how your team does stuff for PT testing, but we always had the philosophy like if you lost a game because you punted, you just count it as a loss. You don't count it as like a secret win. If you won a game because your opponent punted, you just count it as a win. You don't count it as a loss, and in theory, it just all evens out. Which I think is going to be how I would have the attitude. Just it all evens out.
I think.
Sorry, I did mean to get the untapped Fountain to scour, but that's okay. We'll just hold up the Hardcast Force for another Steel Cutter, I guess.
I think in general, less misplays just happen at like the Pro Tour level compared to the RC level. But if we did it, make like a misplay, we usually just like rewind it immediately, like go back a turn.
Can you say that again? Who's rewinding at the PT level?
Like during the testing process.
Oh, during the testing process. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting that y'all did it that way. That wasn't my experience.
It's like, what if I took this line instead, and then we like rewind it and like play out the game?
I think that could be fun.
Yeah, play the game out like we took another line instead.
I do think that there's less. I might force this to get them off Delirium for Unholy Heat. I kind of think it's right. Oh, sorry, they already have Steel Cutter in the yard, so it's definitely not. We could scour next turn to play the Oculus, but I don't know if they didn't have like I do lose to Heat really bad if this was giving them Delirium, but this is not an instant.
Well, if they tap out, you can just force the Heat.
Okay, so as far as like the PT, like the point that there's less misplays. There's definitely less like you're piloting your deck incorrectly misplays and stuff like that. But games also just get really weird at the PT level. I think you end up in a lot of board states that you don't you wouldn't usually see, if that makes sense.
I agree. I think games get really scrappy at the Pro Tour level.
Yeah.
Also, especially limited.
Yeah. Any plans to play Humans again? I think I'm kind of Humans out for the time being. I have really liked it. I think I've dedicated too much time to it, kind of, and I'm kind of interested in because they have Surgical for the Phlage. I'm kind of interested in just holding off on that deck until. I think yes. So I'm gonna try to scour myself to get them to Surgical now while I'm tapped low on blue, or maybe I draw a different blue card. But I do like the Humans deck a lot. I just feel like I've dedicated too much time to it. Okay, so they are drawing 2 cards up to 5. Surgical Extraction has not happened yet.
Hey, the island didn't kill you.
And now it has happened. So I guess we'll just let this happen and then ending in Oculus with Force Up should be pretty good. Any plans on a new Boom Bust build? Tron and Eldrazi is like really dead at the moment, so probably not a good time for it. It's also like, you know, you could land destruction's not very good against Titan. It's just tough.
Oh, I ended up 3-2 by the way.
With the Ritual deck.
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody in chat said this deck's never beating a Torpor over a Blood Moon, and I lost the Torpor, which was Torkeeper.
Well, you're a Leyline Binding deck, so.
And then Blood Moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon is Blood Moon's tough.
I had to go like fetch a forest.
Yeah, no, fetching forest is weirdly like your best plan because you just cast Bloodbraid Elf. And
I
then,
casted Bloodbraid Elf
yeah.
and then killed it, and I was like, well.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it was energy. I think energy seems like kind of tough for that deck.
I think it's pretty play draw.
Not having it play before like turn 3s.
You got Solitudes and Bindings. What do you mean you got plays before turn 3? I agree. Okay.
At least before turn 4 subtlety.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Rhinos though, where you know you got if you take the tempo loss, so your Cascade cards have the time to take over the game. Didn't want to haste. I didn't think I wanted to haste because of a show off. You can just die to show off in these spots.
I'm here for the wedding. Mike and I are getting married on Sunday. Gonna be a good time.
It'd be an awful time. They did have a show off. They plotted it. We don't have any Phlages left in the deck. We do have. Okay, we just milled the Winternight Stories. We do have Fire Magic. If I find a blue card, we're not really too scared of much. If I don't find a blue card, it's kind of tough. Then we don't have the blocker, and then if they have mutagenic growth, they also I think we should just attack. I don't think we should be trying to just kick Fire Magic with Force Up and lose to 2 mutagenic growths for no reason. Oh look, a second Oculus. So they have a Slick Shot show off, plotted. Yeah, are you wearing jeans to the wedding, Dingo?
Should I? For the bit? I think that might go against dress code.
Probably won't be the worst thing somebody does.
Okay, I'll wear them on Saturday. But not Sunday. I've been the voice in your walls the entire time. What the dog doing? Playing with the other dog.
I think I'm just going to play this super safe. Just block both.
Wear shorts to your wedding?
I'll allow it. Only a Dingo exception for shorts.
I never wear shorts.
Exactly.
Damn. I don't even own shorts. That's crazy.
They got one card in their hand. I think we can just try to lead on Obosh to take over the game. Yeah, I guess we'll keep that so when we go for Obosh, we at least have Force Up. Obosh Fire Magic combo. Unholy Heat would be kind of bad. We're going to be pretty low on win cons. I think we have 1 Oculus left. Oh, we have 2. Okay, it's not that low. All right. Let's get a 4-1 prediction. 3-2 the first league. Maybe you could have discarded the island there. Just need some Blood Moon for Titan. Oh, we've got 3 Ashioks, which I think is the better sideboard card against Titan than Blood Moon because of all their Besagers. I'd be pretty surprised if Respect the Cat was just playing normal Boros Energy, Boros Energy, but could be. So, yeah, we could maybe cut the island. I think it's okay. On the Jeskai Blink build, I guess. Let's get a Surveil. Off of an archive. Now we need to decide. Good flash. I don't think I want to just flashback looting. I think I'm going to main phase this because of Helping Hand and Tamiyo. I'm kind of scared of escaping the Phlage and then getting Felia Riddlered, although I could go Pending instead. I think I'm going to graveyard this and then try to wait a turn. We could play the island to make it look like we're kind of mana screwed here, but then we can't go Phlage plus Heat next turn. Although I guess one big downside to waiting is hardcast Subtlety next turn. Still, for some reason my danger senses are going off. We could put Obosh in our hand instead of holding up the hardcast Force, but they could have Fable or Teferi. So it's kind of tough to take that line. If they do play Felia, I'm not gonna heat it immediately because I'd be fine trading a Force for an Ephemerate. Or maybe I would just be able to get it with the Phlage Escape. So no Subtlety. Seems like it's about that time. Feel better if we drew the blue card. We could also go for a Savine's Wreck flashback. And then that could maybe let me hold up Snare this turn. This would be as like a double rampant growth. And that could let me... Let's just haste the Phlage. Sometimes when you play against a good player like Respect the Cat, the plays get too fancy. Cat also told us there's no subtlety over there too. It is kind of interesting. I guess if Cat plays Felia, we should Heat instead of Snare so we can hold up Force for Teferi or Fable. Well, I guess Fable wouldn't be that scary. Prismatic Ending too, maybe. Okay, opponent's down to 5. No Felia. Maybe Hardcast Solitude. They don't typically main deck sub anyways. Is that true? I thought they did. Haste to Solitude. So I guess we'll go ahead and Unholy Heat. So we could try to set up for Obosh in hand for the kill. Could flashback looting. I think that just going for the Obosh in hand makes the most sense to me this turn. We did beat this matchup earlier. I thought they did have main deck subtlety, but maybe I'm misremembering. Also an Arena of Glory over there. So I haste the Obosh, I put our opponents down, I put our opponent down to 2, then they haste the Phlage, they kill the Obosh, they put me down to 18. And then I Prismatic Ending, and we just keep going. I think instead I'd probably would like to flashback the looting and see if we can find a better angle at this game, or its turn. Is an Oculus a better angle? Maybe. I think I want to be discarding the Oculus because I have Savine's Wreck in the yard. That I'm not really doing anything this turn. No, so we should yeah, sorry, we just discard Tamiyo Plains, cast the Oculus. And then we can Savine's Wreck the Oculus when it dies. And maybe we'll get lucky and we'll like manifest a Phlage or another Oculus. Oh, sorry, I should have put the Steam Vents in the yard for the Savines. No hasty eyeball. I don't know if you want to haste the eyeball on the spot. Because I want to be able to go Prismatic Ending and have force up for it, but maybe I'm missing something. The Solitude here is pretty good. Let me start off with a Surveil. Say no to Helping Hand. All right, I know we're going to lose the Obosh now, but I do like forcing the block on the Solitude instead of letting them get in with it next turn. And then not that the Manifest token is doing a lot, but we can like Prismatic Ending the Phlage after the Phlage kills my Obosh next turn, and then at least have a creature in play. I did not think they had an Ephemerate in their hand. Played right into it. We're at a pretty high life total though, so as long as we don't commit too much to the board, the Phlage in their yard is not that scary. Let's see if they Ephemerate the Solitude or not. Yeah, do you think them gaining life is more important? Plays an Arid Mesa. Alright, so dead, nothing, Steam Vents. Guess now I can double Rampant Growth with Savine's Rack, although I'm gonna just save it, I think. Take a big hit, my opponent gains a lot of life. They're up to 15 after the Solitude hits me, and I'm down to 19. They have another play. Pretty good. Maybe Snare's bad again. Snare was feeling so good for a little bit. I mean, still good against Prowess. Not doing a lot of these kind of matchups. Feels like Goryo's and Boros are also like pretty on the decline. They keep a card on top. Yeah, I know we can snare Felia, but it's just not a very good card against them overall. In 16, they're at 17. We have a Savine's Wreck of the Yard. A lot of good top decks. Winternight Stories, Oculus, Thought Scour can be good. Whereas had a pretty poor weekend, basically pulled the Beltry. I don't exactly think I understand why it's not doing as well as it has been. Okay, well, certainly would have liked this Phlage to have been milled instead of drawn, but we can work with this. I wonder, is it ever better for me to Savine's Wreck here? Because if I Savine's Wreck, I do have a lot more mana next turn, although that doesn't really seem too relevant. So let's just Phlage their Solitude. I'm going to take 9 down to 5. Shout out Dolly Parton. Oh, I guess we might take another 4 from the Quantum Riddler. Okay, Riddler and Ragavan kills me. Xaxes, wow. Okay, game 2. We did win this matchup. I think it was our first match, kind of fitting. Be our last match too. So I think I liked going down to 1 snare, 2 force, just bring in the rest of the consigns. Although I guess I also want probably 1 surgical. Maybe just 0 snare. No, I think 4 instant speed dancers to Felia can be kind of... Oh no, we have the consigns. That's right. This was the same dialogue tree as that. With all the consigns, we're also less scared of Felia. 9 from 16 puts you to 7. Oh, I guess we did live at 1 life then. Oops. Yeah, on the play, let's keep. Opponent's on a mull to 6. Dang. Surprised by like a Riddler, no ephemerate, but good with Winternight and Looting. You could play it. I mean, let me know what you'd cut for it. I do just mostly think I'm not that excited about Riddler in most non-ephemerate builds. There's some exceptions. But I also was mostly trying to explore the the looting plan in general, which I don't think you really maximize with a Riddler edition. Keeping this can help me deal with a Ragavan, which I'm currently pretty soft to. I think I need a bit more churn here. Okay, now we can deal with a Ragavan in the most embarrassing way possible. Consign the return trigger, then Prismatic Ending it. Yeah, I'm ready for the NBA season. I didn't want. Wait, it started, right? It was this week that it started. Need to start paying attention. I guess we just Obosh here. This is Hasty Phlage with Consign. Oh, just Hasty Riddler. Well, no Ephemerate's nice. It's interesting that they thought the 4 damage was worth the tap land. It might be. Just don't know for sure that it was here. Seems like I should probably get a mountain. Leave Tamiyo in the yard. Solitude pitch Prismatic Ending. Interesting. So has something to play here. Otherwise, Cat would have just Prismatic Ending. I think. Do we think Cat would have a Solitude in hand? Another thing too is I don't know why Cat Solitude at end of turn instead of just untapping and drawing. I guess that was like definitely a mistake. Like there was no reason to not just take the draw step. Could there be a Prismatic Ending in the hand? Could this secretly be the better option? Although there's already 2 Prismatic Ending used. Okay, I'm gonna Surgical the Solitude. I think Phlage is not very likely to be in hand. Let's fucking go! I got super punished for exerting the arena too. Alright, so 2 Fables, no subtlety, or one subtlety, 2 surgical, 2 fairy, 1 purge. Purge, not great against us. Opponent does still have a Riddler in exile here. Glad we were able to sniff that out. I'm hoping my opponent just like plays a Riddler next turn and I draw the land for Obosh and kill them with the Obosh Phlage. I guess they could chump with so we would use the Phlage to kill the Riddler, then we deal them 12. So I guess yeah they would be a little bit alive. If they took the draw, you would have gotten the manifest. Okay, right. Okay, finds a Riddler, 3 cards in hand. No Solitudes in their deck. Unfortunately, we don't draw the super duper fun land for the Obosh. If I discard, I'm gonna have Delirium no matter what. I guess I just discard the Obosh. No, let's discard a Looting and an Ending. I think the Obosh is a bit too good here. And then, do we play around Ephemerate? Yes. Yes, we do. So I guess I should have waited on the fetch. Doesn't really seem like much reason not to. Like the size of the Quantum Riddler doesn't seem to matter very much. Not Delirium. I do have Delirium. And then now that they're tapped out, we'll heat the Riddler. Okay, 2 very cool games. Let's go to game 3. I think I might go -1 Consign, +1 Surgical. Surgical weirdly pretty good there. I promise not to morph into Surgical for the grindy matchup kind of guy. Alright, I reveal an Obosh. Runs on Multi 6. Okay, Cat kept 6. Do I keep this? And it's really good if we draw looting. It's kind of it. Let's go to 5. The deck is like, do not board in the second surgical. Don't do it. Do not do it. Jeez, okay. Unless you have 2 Ragavans. Flips the Thought Scour, so we were kind of even on cards because we're in the draw. Now we're behind on cards. Mills one of the 2 surgicals. We know there's 2 because we surgical their opponent last game. At least it wasn't a Tamiyo. We have Brutal to Fairy. Yep. Tough mull to 5. I gotta graveyard that. Find Delirium. No creatures, that means no Delirium. Gonna surveil end of turn. Think this might be the end of our road, unfortunately. Not a good matchup to multi 5 into. Spike is in love with this deck. This is our second league. It just the mistake of we're not even that controlling too. The mistake of playing a blue deck on stream. We graveyard that again. Maybe that's a mistake. Get some value though. All right, big money Delirium. Might just concede if we don't find it. Don't find it. All right, fun raveled. Lunchtime, I think. 3-2 both leagues. Definitely solid. I think the deck looked pretty cool. There's a lot of different angles to the whole like Faithless Looting, like Scour, Oculus Phlage package, and I think it's generally pretty underexplored. We might find a slightly different angle, but I feel like this is a good starting point in general. Back tomorrow, challenge on Friday. I might play a challenge tomorrow. At the very least, I think I'm going to play the Bant Woodland control build that I've got posted in the mod.